You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
And today on the House Call edition, we're taking your questions that we've gotten throughout the week. So many of the questions can be expanded upon, and I can create whole topics during the week about it. That's obviously how we get all of our topics, is that I want to talk about the things that you want to hear. So the longer ones that take about 10 minutes, those become individual episodes throughout the week. And then the smaller ones, the ones that I can answer in 3 to 4 minutes, those are the ones that we save for our House Call editions. And if I haven't gotten yours, I certainly will. It will be coming very, very soon. So first question today is from Donna G. Donna is asking, I'm having severe neck pain, and I'm not sure what it is from. Any suggestions? So yes, plenty of suggestions. We work with chronic pain. We work with joint pain all the time. We work with knee pain, lower back pain, you name it, rotator cuff. So let's talk neck pain today. What could neck pain be from? So the first thing we need to rule out, because it's the simplest, literally it's the simplest to look at, is a biomechanical dysfunction or biomechanical alignment issue. Now, what does that mean? In just normal speak, it means that the neck isn't in proper symmetry or alignment with the rest of your body. And so here's the most common issue, is that literally people are these like anterior, forward-moving creatures now. It's like we're staring at a computer screen, we're driving in a car, we're sitting down looking at our phone, and what are we doing when that's taking place? Well, our neck and our head is literally pushed in front of our shoulders, and we're kind of like leaning forward, right? Like our head is craned forward looking at something. And when that happens, it actually creates a longer lever, meaning like if you were to extend your arm, I would say, and you were to hold a sledgehammer, you could do that for a little while, you could, but eventually that weight at the end of the sledgehammer might weigh 1 or 2 pounds, but eventually it's going to get heavy. You're going to start to feel that all throughout your arm and your shoulder. Well, the same thing is happening in your head. This 8-pound or so object is now being brought off of your shoulders. It should just sit right on your shoulders, ears lined up with your shoulders, but now it's being brought in front. That's called cervical flexion. And when that happens, you're asking now your neck muscles and your trapezius muscles, those muscles kind of like the triangles that sit on top of your shoulders, are asked to do more work. And there are obviously more muscles than that, of course, that do work. But what happens there is that we start to build up a lot of tension and we start to shrug the shoulders. So we get stress shrugging the shoulders. We're trying to hold our head from leaning too far forward. That's creating tension. And when this happens, we can get severe neck pain. Now, does it happen in one day? No, but oftentimes it happens over a period of days and weeks and then months and then even years of being in the same position. So what we do is, and I created a YouTube video on this. I'll try to link up that YouTube video in the show notes. I'll certainly do that, but I gave some office stretches that you could do. Because what happens is first you have to catch yourself doing it, being out of alignment, sticking that chin too far forward, and then you have to pull that chin back and just sit in upright, in nice, good posture. And then you also want to work on massaging the trapezius muscles or the SCM muscles. Those are just the muscles in the front of the neck, two of the large, long ones. They can often see protruding in people with poor alignment. And so you'll either do that through massage or you'll do foam rolling with like a lacrosse ball or tennis ball against the wall. You'll do your stretches that I show in the video. And again, I'll link that up. But you want to be able to get yourself back into alignment. You'll also want to stretch open your chest muscles, doing a nice little doorway stretch, just keeping your arms up above your shoulders, bent at right angles or just a little above, and just putting them against the doorways, the 2 frames, and stepping through just to stretch your chest. Very, very simple, very straightforward, and that will allow you to just get a better overall stretch, okay? And then when that happens, you can start to pull your shoulders back naturally instead of it being forced. So I would look at that. A few other things I would look at then after that, after getting into good biomechanical order. Again, see a massage therapist, see a personal trainer, a physical therapist, or a good chiropractor that does active release technique. Just get your biomechanical when I keep saying that, just get your alignment back in order. And then after that, if that still doesn't do the correction, or ideally at the same time, limit the omega-6 fatty acids in your diet. That's simply the processed foods, the inflammatory foods, and add in more omega-3s. Maybe something as simple as, it doesn't have to be forever, but maybe for a little while, adding in a good quality omega-3 fish oil or a vegan-based variety. All right, Donna, hopefully that helps. Let us know if it doesn't. I'm happy to help with additional suggestions. All right, J.A. is up next. Jay is asking, I'm pre-diabetic. Is it possible to control blood sugar through my diet? And yes, Jay, it absolutely is. Not a week goes by that I don't see someone in my practice looking to work on either their type 2 diabetes, their type 1, or pre-diabetic. And it is one of those things that even just begins the metabolic cycle or the metabolic syndrome. So we want to make sure that not only is blood sugar regulated, but also that we look at cholesterol, that we look at blood pressure, that we look at thyroid, we look at all those things. We're not going to get into that today, but there's this cascade events that happens when blood sugar starts to get high. So what I would say is all of them, though, can be controlled through diet. That's the great thing. And so the first thing, the most straightforward thing we have to do is this. We need to, first of all, just eliminate, and again, this doesn't have to be a forever diet like I tell people in my practice. It has to be at least, though, an 8 to 12-week diet, so just 2 to 3 months. Cut down on all of the processed foods, all of the starches. When we do that, we replace them with just basically good quality antioxidant fruits, the majority of your diet being vegetables as well, like at each meal. And then also good quality protein, of course, lean protein, as well as healthy fats, but not going overboard on the fats and not going overboard on the proteins. And I'll tell you why. So the first thing we have to do is just control blood sugar, right? All right, so let's take a step back. Let's just control blood sugar. If you do nothing else, simply go on a diet where the only carbohydrates you're eating are mainly from vegetables, right? So that will help lower your blood sugar right away. That's a simple thing to do. I mean, that's, if you do nothing else, replace all of your carbs pretty much with vegetables, okay? So you're eating, yes, salads and celery and carrots and all of those things. And great, and it works fantastic. And then, of course, you can put any protein, any fat you want with it. That's just the simple part. But if we want to get a little bit more fine-tuned, a little bit more natural, beyond just the functional medicine part of it, let's look at, I work with a lot of type 1 diabetics in my practice as well. And I'll tell you right now, I see a lot of heavy animal protein diets, meaning like really strict paleo, but heavy protein, heavy animal protein diets, also causing an increase in blood sugar. And the reason is the glycemic load of the meal, not just the index, meaning not just the food itself, but the actual meal itself can be quite high. And that glycemic load can increase blood sugar as well. Plus, a lot of animal meats or animal fats in the diet can actually create what's called more of a harder or rigid cell membrane. And that does not allow for as much glucose or sugar to be uptaken, if that's even a word, by each of the cells. So what you want to look at as you're fine-tuning, meaning like first just go with a nice, good quality elimination-based diet like I recommend. Either our Fatlocity-based plan, some type of true paleo-based plan. And then from there, okay, good. You've gotten your blood sugar down, but now let's look at fine-tuning that with adding a healthier, perspective to this, meaning like not animal protein 3 times a day. That's just not paleo at all. All right, Jay, so definitely try that. Literally all you have to do is first start removing all those starches from the diet, replacing them with good quality vegetables as much as you want. No calorie counting, just lots and lots of vegetables. Keep your protein in with each meal, keep your fat in with each meal. I'm just asking you to go more veggies to start. And then after that, controlling the blood sugar, we can fine-tune it to a nice, healthier diet. All right, our next person up today, their email was healthyhappytraveler I'm not going to read the rest of their email, so we're going to call them Healthy Happy Traveler, which is great. I'm someone who loves travel, try to do it as much as I can, but obviously with family and with busy business, all of those things sometimes get pushed a little further back. So let's get into now our question. And our question is, what's the number one piece of exercise equipment for home workouts? So this question, I remember seeing it pretty subjective, right? It's asking me, what do I think is the number one piece of exercise equipment? So I'm going to make this pretty straightforward. And again, this is just for home workouts, so that's helped me fine-tune this answer a little bit. And what I would say is this, that if I'm picking my number one piece, it has to be extremely versatile. So I could say something like, oh, well, let's talk about maybe like Versaloops or a sandbag or equalizer dip bars, or all these different things. But what I have to say is a two-sided exercise band, meaning like there's a piece of nylon in between both that you can put right in the doorway, and then you have two handles. So you actually have an exercise band that has a middle piece that allows it to act like a cable piece. So I design workouts a lot of times that might include cables, but the excellent thing about this is that if you have an exercise band at your house, which is so cheap to invest in, maybe like $30, $40 at the most, and then you have it for at least a year. The great thing about this is this: you can do any cable exercise that you want just with one band. So you don't even have to go to the gym. So hands down, my number one piece, without a doubt, is an exercise band, two-sided. I'll link up the one that I use myself in the show notes, and the same one that I used when I traveled overseas for a year doing all different internships in India and Sri Lanka and China and Europe and all over the US. Literally, that is the only piece of exercise equipment I brought, and I used my own body weight, and I used this particular band, and I did every single workout just with that. And, it's absolutely fantastic. So look for more exercises and more workouts from me in the future, but literally you can use it for squat presses, for chest presses, for lat pull downs, for Romanian deadlifts, for squats, for what else? Squat presses, one of my favorites for chops. So, sky's the limit. If you can do it with a piece of cable or a cable from a gym, then you can do it with one of these exercise bands. Really, really love them. And like I said, you can come up with thousands of exercises from one $30 to $40 piece of rubber tubing. Basically, that's all it is. All right, everyone, thank you again for tuning in to another Cabral House Call. I'll be back tomorrow with our second edition of the House Call, answering more of your questions. Stay tuned. Ever wonder what the best sauna, blue blockers, sleep trackers, wake lights, salt lamps, or other health gadgets are? Or what about the top non-toxic mattresses, sheets, soaps, bath products, toothpaste, and cookware? Or would you like to know the cleanest choices for hemp parts, meal delivery services, supplements, and much more? I personally curated, researched, and now created a resource page of all of my top picks that continues to grow each week. These are the exact products I use in my own life, with my family, in my private practice, and they're the ones I trust. To find out all of my up-to-date recommendations and all the details, simply head on over to stephencabral.com/resources.